Most people who want to start a business never actually start one. And the ones who do, 20% of them close within the first year. But here's what nobody tells you. That also means 80% survive. The problem isn't that starting a business is impossible. The problem is that most people start wrong. They skip the research, they underestimate costs, and they follow advice that sounds good on a podcast but falls apart in real life. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to start a small business, step by step, with real numbers, real decisions, and zero fluff. Whether you have $1,000 or $10,000 to start, stay with me because this might be the most practical video you watch on this topic. Alright, so before we get into the steps, let me tell you who this video is actually for, and who it's not for. If you're a beginner, a side hustler, or someone who's been thinking about starting something but just doesn't know where to begin, this is for you. If you have a low to medium budget and you want a realistic map of what starting a business actually looks like in 2025, this is absolutely for you. But if you're looking for a make $10,000 in 30 days kind of video, that's not this channel. Not today, not ever. Ideal in reality. And the reality is that building something real takes a little more than a motivational speech. So what exactly is a small business? Because that term covers a lot of ground. The U.S. Small Business Administration defines a small business as a firm with fewer than 500 employees. But realistically, when we say small business in this video, we're talking about solo operators, home-based businesses, and local service or product-based businesses. Think cleaning services, food businesses, tutoring, landscaping, a boutique, a consulting practice, an e-commerce store. You name it. The way a small business makes money is simple. You either sell a product, a service, or your time. That's it. The complexity comes in how you manage costs, attract customers, and keep the money coming in consistently. Now let's talk about the market, because the opportunity here is real. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, as of 2025, there are 36.2 million small businesses in the United States. They employ about 62 million Americans, nearly half the private sector workforce. In 2024 alone, 5.2 million new business applications were filed in the U.S. That's a 48.6% increase compared to 2019. People are starting businesses at a historic rate. And the income potential? According to industry data, 41% of small businesses generate over $1 million in annual revenue. Only 18% earn less than $100,000. The median small business owner income in the U.S. sits somewhere between $50,000 and $90,000 per year, depending on the industry. Service-based businesses, cleaning, consulting, tutoring, lawn care, photography, are actually more than twice as likely to survive as product-based businesses, according to industry research. And businesses that invest in marketing are 41% more likely to double their chances of survival. I'll say that again, 41% more likely. That's not a minor stat. That's a strategy. Now let's talk money. This is where most YouTube videos either scare you away or get unrealistically optimistic. Let's be straight. According to a Shopify survey, small business owners spend an average of $40,000 in their first full year. But here's the key insight. 58% of small businesses started with less than $25,000, and 43% of people who start online or service-based businesses get started with under $10,000. Here's a general minimum startup cost breakdown for a lean, service-based or home-based small business. Equipment or tools, $500 to $3,000 depending on your business type. Business registration and legal, $50 to $500. Filing an LLC or registering a sole proprietorship varies by state, but it's rarely expensive early on. Initial inventory or raw materials, if applicable $500 to $5,000. Space or workspace, $0 if you're starting from home, up to $1,000 per month if you're renting a small commercial space. Website, $120 to $500 for the first year using basic builders. Marketing, paid ads, materials, social content, $300 to $1,500 to start. Miscellaneous, software, phone, insurance, $200 to $800. Total minimum for a lean start, roughly $2,000 to $5,000 for a home-based service business. For a retail or product business, you're looking at $10,000 to $30,000 realistically. Let me break down where that money actually goes, because knowing the categories isn't enough. You need to understand the logic behind each one. Equipment is often your first major purchase, and the mistake people make is overbuying before they have their first customer. Buy the minimum to deliver a quality result, and upgrade as revenue grows. Legal and registration costs protect you. Skipping this is one of the biggest rookie mistakes. An LLC doesn't cost much. In most states it's under $200, and it separates your personal finances from your business finances. That separation is priceless. Inventory or raw materials only apply if you're selling physical products. Start lean. Don't stock a warehouse before you've validated that people want what you're selling. Marketing is where most beginners underinvest. You can have the best product in your city and still fail if nobody knows you exist. Budget for it from day one. On monthly operating costs, once you're running, here's what you're typically looking at for a small service business. Software subscriptions and tools, $50 to $200 per month. Marketing ongoing, $200 to $500 per month. Insurance, $50 to $150 per month. Phone and utilities, $100 to $200 per month. Miscellaneous business expenses, $100 to $300 per month. That puts your monthly operating burn somewhere between $500 and $1,350 for a very lean operation. For a business with a physical location or staff, that number climbs significantly. Now for income potential, and I'm going to give you 3 honest scenarios. Conservative estimate: a solo service business in year 1 doing consistent but modest volume. Revenue of $30,000 to $50,000. After all costs, take home of $18,000 to $30,000. That's a real, honest number for a first-year operator who's still learning. Realistic estimate: a business that's been running 12 to 18 months, has a small client base, and is actively marketing. Revenue between $60,000 and $120,000. Profit margin of 25% to 45%. Take home of $25,000 to $55,000. Optimistic estimate: a business with a strong niche, good systems, and consistent marketing pulling $150,000 to $300,000 in revenue. Margins at 35% to 50% for service-based businesses. Take home well above 6 figures. Average profit margins by model. Service businesses typically run 25% to 50% margins. Retail and product businesses run 10% to 30%. Restaurants and food businesses, and I'll be honest with you here, often run as low as 3% to 9%, which is why they're high risk for beginners. Let's talk about break-even, meaning when do you actually get your money back? If you started with $5,000 and you're running a service business with $500 per month in costs, and you're generating $3,000 per month in revenue, you break even in roughly 2 to 4 months. That's realistic. If you started with $20,000 in a product business and you're generating $5,000 in revenue per month with $3,000 in costs, your break-even comes around month 10. That's also realistic. The formula is simple. Take your total startup investment, divide by your monthly net profit, and that's how many months to break even. Know this number before you start. Now let's get into the stuff that actually sinks people, because avoiding these mistakes is worth more than any motivational advice. Mistake number 1. Starting without validating demand. People build products or services based on what they think people want, not what they've confirmed people will actually pay for. Talk to potential customers before you spend $1 on anything. Mistake number 2. Underpricing. This is an epidemic among new business owners. Charging too little doesn't attract more customers. It attracts the wrong customers and burns you out. Price based on your costs plus a real margin, not based on your fear of rejection. Mistake number 3. No cash reserve. Almost every business has slow months. If you don't have at least 2 to 3 months of operating costs saved, one slow season can end your business before it starts. Mistake number 4. Doing everything manually. People spend hours on tasks that $30 per month software could handle automatically. Invoicing, scheduling, follow-up emails. Time is your most limited resource. Use tools. Mistake number 5. No marketing strategy. Having a product or service is not a marketing strategy. Word of mouth is not a marketing strategy when you're just starting. You need a repeatable way to get new customers every single month. Here's where the real opportunities are right now, because starting a generic business in a crowded market is hard. But niching down? That's where the money is. Some of the most underserved niches in the US right now. Mobile services, meaning you bring the service to the customer, whether that's cleaning, pet grooming, car detailing, or beauty. Seniors and aging-in-place services. The 65-plus demographic is the fastest growing in America and massively underserved by small businesses. Eco-friendly and sustainable alternatives. Consumers are actively seeking these out and willing to pay a premium. Hyperlocal e-commerce, selling locally made or locally relevant products online. And B2B services for small businesses, bookkeeping, social media management, virtual assistants, HR support. Small businesses are a huge market that often buys these services from other small businesses. Your differentiation strategy doesn't have to be complicated. Be more specific about who you serve. Be faster. Be more communicative. Be more professional than your competitors. That's often enough. Alright, here's your step-by-step plan to actually get started. Step 1. Decide what you're starting and confirm there's demand for it. Don't assume. Validate. Talk to 5 potential customers before you spend a single dollar. Step 2. Research your market. Who are your competitors? What are they charging? What are customers complaining about in reviews? That's your opening. Step 3. Choose your business structure. For most beginners, a sole proprietorship is the simplest start. But if you want liability protection, and I recommend it, file an LLC. It's cheap and it matters. Step 4. Register your business. Get your EIN number, that's your employer identification number, from the IRS website. It's free and takes about 10 minutes online. Register your business name in your state. Step 5. Open a separate business bank account. Do not mix personal and business money. This is non-negotiable. Step 6. Set your pricing. Calculate your costs. Add your desired profit margin. Do not start by copying your competitors' prices without understanding their cost structure. Step 7. Build a minimal digital presence. You don't need a $5,000 website on day 1. But you do need something. A Google business profile is free and is often the first place local customers find you. A basic website, a Facebook or Instagram page, whatever makes sense for your market. Step 8. Get your first customer. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Tell everyone you know. Reach out directly. Offer a strong first client deal if needed to get the testimonial and the experience. Step 9. Deliver exceptional work. Obvious. Yes. But this is your most powerful marketing tool early on. Every satisfied customer becomes a word-of-mouth engine. Step 10. Build systems so you can repeat that process consistently, serve more customers, and eventually scale. Now, on the topic of tools and systems, and this specifically applies if you're building anything beyond a very simple one-person operation. You'll eventually need a way to manage your customers, track leads, schedule appointments, send invoices, and follow up automatically. That's where a CRM, a customer relationship management system, and a proper website become important. Not on day 1, necessarily, but sooner than most people think. Here's why this matters. 64% of small businesses have a website, and 81% of those with a website saw their revenue increase as a result. And 27% of small businesses still have no online presence at all, meaning if you get online early, you already have an edge on more than a quarter of your competition. For implementation, whether you need a professional website built, a CRM set up so you don't lose track of leads, booking software, or automation tools to save you hours every week, a great resource for this is SoftAngles. They specialize in helping small businesses get their digital infrastructure right. They're not a generic agency. They focus specifically on the tools and software side of building a business. You can book a free consultation and get a free estimate. The link is in the description. Let's talk marketing, because this is what separates businesses that grow from businesses that plateau. Online methods that work for small budgets. Google Business Profile is free and essential for local search. Instagram and Facebook are still the highest ROI platforms for local service businesses. Short-form video content, Reels, TikToks, is the lowest cost way to build awareness right now. And don't sleep on Google reviews. They directly impact your local search ranking. Offline methods, Flyers and door hangers in targeted neighborhoods still work for local service businesses. Networking at local business groups. Partnerships with complementary businesses. A wedding photographer partnering with a florist, for example. Local community boards and neighborhood apps. Low-budget strategy. Start with Google Business Profile and 2 social media platforms. Post consistently, 3 to 5 times per week. Ask every customer for a review. Run a small paid ad campaign. Even $5 to $10 per day on Facebook or Instagram can drive meaningful results when targeted properly. Scaling strategy. Once you're generating consistent revenue, reinvest 10 to 15% back into marketing. Test paid channels. Google Ads for high-intent searchers, Meta Ads for brand awareness. Build an email list. Develop referral programs. These are the compound interest activities of marketing. Let's be real about the challenges, because they exist. Competition is always there, in almost every industry, especially service businesses. Your answer is differentiation and better customer experience, not just lower prices. Cash flow is the #1 killer of small businesses. 80% of businesses that fail cite cash flow issues as the reason. You can be profitable on paper and still go under if your timing is off. Hiring is hard. 56% of small business owners report difficulty finding qualified applicants. Growth often stalls here. Burnout is real. 46% of entrepreneurs report high stress levels. Building systems early is the only long-term solution. Quick do's and don'ts before we wrap up. Do validate before you build. Do start lean and scale with revenue. Do invest in your digital presence early. Do track your numbers from week 1, revenue, expenses, profit, and cash flow. Do ask for reviews aggressively and consistently. Don't price based on fear. Don't skip your legal setup to save a few $100s. Don't confuse being busy with being profitable. Those are 2 very different things. Don't try to market on every platform at once. Pick 2 and do them well. And don't wait for perfect. Perfect is the enemy of started. So here's my final verdict. Is starting a small business worth it in 2025? Yes, if you approach it with a plan, a realistic budget, and the patience to build over 12 to 24 months rather than expecting overnight results. Who should start a business right now? Someone with a skill or idea that solves a real problem people are already paying to solve. Someone with at least some financial cushion, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, so that business pressure doesn't force bad decisions. Someone who's genuinely willing to do the unglamorous work, the admin, the marketing, the customer follow-up, the bookkeeping. Who should hold off? Anyone who expects to replace their income in 30 days. Anyone starting without understanding who their customer is. Anyone unwilling to invest in basic systems and marketing. The data doesn't lie. 80% of businesses survive year 1. The 20% that fail often share the same mistakes. No market validation, no cash reserve, no marketing strategy. Avoid those, and you're already ahead of most. If you found this video useful, hit subscribe. Every week I put out content like this, practical and data-driven, to help you make smarter business decisions. And if you're at the point where you're ready to get your website, CRM, or business software set up professionally, check out SoftAngles or visit softangles.com/start. Free consultation, free estimate, link is in the description. Don't sleep on your digital foundation. Get it right from the start.